All right, welcome everyone to the Commanders versus Bengals post-game show. We got Jason, we got Aaron for this post-game.
Yo, 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 yo.
Before we get started, I'd like to remind you all to make sure you guys make subscribe to both of Jason and my channels. They're in the description there. Follow us on TikTok and support Jason's PayPal and turn
That
on
way he can buy the Cowboys and turn them into a winning team.
excuse me. Turn on the post notification bell so that way you guys don't miss any more of these live streams. Coming up, NFL wise, for week 4, we'll be streaming the Ravens, Bills, and the Seahawks, Lions. Baseball, we got Dodgers in a must-win game against the Padres tomorrow evening, so make sure you guys don't miss that. With that out of the way, let's talk about this game. Let's go with Aaron first. What was your big takeaway from this game?
Shootout City and Washington just had a little bit more in the tank.
Jason?
I I would say I think the shock of the offense, the defense, I'm not impressed by at all. But the Bengals did shred your defense. They didn't get the win, but they did show the holes of your defense for sure. They showed everybody what the holes in your defense was, and that run defense is just absolutely terrible. That secondary, you're right, is terrible, like the Cowboys. Anyway, I guess what my takeaway is, damn, that defense with Jaden Daniels. I mean, he doesn't make a lot of bad throws. He can scramble. He's very mobile. I'm happy that Washington, Dan Quinn are not keeping him in the pocket like they do with Dak Prescott, honestly, and Justin Fields and Caleb Williams and all that, all those guys. And I would say, I think Jaden Daniels is a good game manager, and you're starting to see it. But without a defense, without a good quality defense, if you guys don't fix it in the trade deadline, you guys aren't getting a title. The best you're going to get is a playoff run. And because you can't win a title with that lack of defense. So
Defense wins championships.
Yeah, but Jaden Daniels, look, I mean, you guys finally have a quarterback you guys can actually be proud of. You know, it's not, oh, well, Heineke's better than this guy because this guy. No, you guys have a good quarterback. And as long as he doesn't get hurt and as long as you surround him with weapons, I think this team could. Well, this team needs. They're in a rebuild, so, but they need to do a lot better on the defense. And I would say Benjamin St-Juste had a good play there at the end, but I'd replace the secondary. I'd get some new corners, get a couple new pieces on the offensive line, and maybe another weapon besides
Scary
Terry McLaurin, because getting rid of Jahad Dotson was just stupid. But yeah, no, those are my thoughts. Good offense. Defense needs a lot of work.
So
Yeah.
do you think that Daniels is a good? Do you think Daniels is a good locker room leader? That's what I'm curious of.
Well, here's the thing. From what was said, he is, because like he basically came in like day one when they drafted him and put in the work, and like there was a lot of positive words. Through Dan Quinn and everyone else saying that he actually. That's honestly why they gave him, because Marcus Mariota was going to be the day one starter. There was talks of that, but when he showed up with his leadership and with the preseason, the little that he showed in the preseason, that was enough for him to get the starting job. Now,
it was behind the scenes too, because they were talking about how he was always the one to ask questions. He was practicing when everyone else was sitting around. He was doing drills no one else was doing. In the locker room, he was going over notes. I mean, it shows that Caleb Williams, there's a reason why he was the number one pick. It's because, well, let's just be honest. Caleb Williams wants to get better, and he has that in him, and he has that Kobe aspect in him.
I'm impressed by the fact that he is able to be a locker room leader, because I really feel like that is almost as important, if not more important, than the raw talent.
yeah. All right. So, I mean, here's some takeaways. Jason covered it all. I mean, the defense needs to get better. The secondary, Washington deactivated Derek Forrest again. Like Jeremy Chin, yes, he had some tackles, but he always gets burned. So I feel like Derek Forrest, who's better than Jeremy Chin, should get a start at some point. Benjamin St-Juste is always up and down, honestly. Noah I, who basically stepped in for Emmanuel Forbes, because if Emmanuel Forbes plays this game, the defense would have given up way more, honestly. No pass rush, although Frankie Louvu did have a few tackles for loss.
Almost had a couple of picks.
That too. And I think Dorrance Armstrong had a few plays here and there. Injury notes: Austin Eckler suffered a concussion, was out for the rest of the game, and you noticed his absence. I like Brian Robinson, but it wasn't his best night. Yes, he may have had a touchdown and big runs, but Austin Eckler is that receiving back and more of a natural receiving running back. So hopefully they can kind of address that. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully Austin Eckler is okay, but I expect him to be on the shelf for a couple of weeks.
What about Brown for the Bengals, that offensive lineman?
Oh, him too.
Yeah.
Oh, they're screwed without him. They are so screwed.
Other guys
like that Trent Williams. He's like the Trent Williams for 49ers. They are. He is such a key piece, and with him going down, let's hope it's only a few weeks because that's not a good piece to lose. No.
Some other notes: Terry McLaurin came alive today after being quiet for 2 weeks. Luke McCaffrey had a big reception in that first quarter as well. Noah Brown, big catches. Zach Ertz with all around. Jaden Daniels went 91%. Completion.
I think this is what you said before. You talked about this being his breakout part. I think you were right.
So, I mean, and I'm also listening to ESPN. The defense does need to get better, and they do have a lot of holes, but they stepped up when needed. The question is another interesting test. They're going to face Kyler Murray, who is a scrambler himself. So they also got to learn to contain quarterbacks. Fortunately, Joe Burrow, he did scramble, yes, a couple of times, but he's not known for that. He's more known for his arm.
I think you could see, thanks to his wrist injury, I think you could see the fact that Burrow himself was having a hard time throwing on the run and throwing the deep ball with the accuracy he would normally have.
Well, that's why he was doing those check down passes and throwing up in the middle, and throwing it up out into the middle. And you also notice the defense. Look, they got shredded, but they also in the first 2-3 drives, they kept the Bengals to field goals. That's not a small feat either with the lack of defense that you have. So they did do that. At least they were able to keep them to field goals. They were able to get some key stops. And that touchdown at the end, that's garbage time. That's garbage time scoring. It doesn't matter.
And also, I got to give props to Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury as well, offensively. Cliff Kingsbury, because it was 4th and 1, and they basically put the ball in Jaden Daniels' hands. I don't even think they decided to run the ball on 4th and 1. It was all Jaden Daniels. If this was Ron Rivera's offense, you would see something.
Oh boy.
You would see something cute, and they would fail, and we would get pissed. But today, they were able to convert 3 for 3 on 4th downs, putting the ball in Jaden Daniels' hand and trusting in your rookie quarterback.
Two in the same drive, by the way.
Mm-hmm. But any other concluding thoughts before we move on?
I think that time will tell if this is into something. But as Jason said, you have to fix that defense by the trade deadline. Otherwise, you guys are in rough shape.
Yeah, and we'll see if right now Washington they're it sounds like they're more interested in selling guys than bringing in guys.
Well, let's hope that brings in enough cash to say, I'd really like that defensive piece from San Diego or LA. Or, hey, I really want that defensive piece from this, or we need this receiver because you need a couple more receivers for Jaden Daniels. because he needs to build chemistry with somebody else. I can't wait to see Jaden Daniels in bigger games. But yeah, that they need as long they can sell all they want, get all the cash you want, but use it to your advantage.
Yep.
Yeah, at that point, it's how you use the resources, not just how you get them.
Yeah. I mean, again, like Noah Brown can get you so far. De'Ami Brown will get you so far. Luke McCaffrey, even though he's a rookie, and who knows if he's good, but is he wide receiver number 2 quality? We'll see.
I think
But
he has to be.
that'll do it for this post game.